as a language class after school and weekend. So I'd like to suggest the more and the more after school program weekend activity for students and parents, if we can, as like sports and habit. I think in conclusion, AIS has many opportunities, so we should use and use as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Namhee. Suresh?
The primary role of any board is long range and strategic. And I want to frame this as both strategic challenges and strategic opportunities. Challenge is an opportunity, in my opinion. On governance, I see a couple of challenges. I would love to influence the board to add a small nuance to the mission to encompass, daring ambition and healthy competition as one of our core values, because it is a dynamic world out there, and we have to prepare our students to be able to compete. I also represent a constituency in the school community that has some concerns and some grumblings that I've heard in social gatherings and in meeting them privately about rising tuition costs and things like that. And I'm sure that has been brought to the attention of the school board and the leadership. But I feel that constituency needs to be represented on the board as well in some form. So the sustainability and financial model and the perception that the community has of the school is really important to the sustainability of the school itself. On the teaching and learning part, I feel, the board has just one employee, the head of the school, and it is the responsibility of the head of the school to ensure that teaching and learning is effective. The best metaphor I read recently is about the air traffic controller who, along with the pilot, defines the flight plan, and then the head of school is the pilot who steers in the right direction based on the plan. Now, I've interacted with several hundred educators and administrators across the globe as part of my EdTech startup, and the pilot we have on the joystick is one of the best. So I'm sure that the role of the board in this case is to ensure that the captain has all the tools and tools and whatever he needs to be effective in his job. Absolutely love and adore the facilities here, like I said before, and I've not heard of a single school in India that has this type of facility. Just wish that we're able to protect this going forward, and also any investments we make should be cost effective and capital efficient.
Thank you, Suresh. Julie?
Thank you. This is always a difficult question to answer because I feel like it's that last couple of percent. The school is already quite fantastic, as I've seen over the last 8 years. But thinking through where we can start hone in and where we can start expanding on opportunities, the first area I would say is expanding educational opportunities through partnerships. One of my visions when I joined the board was to ensure that all students get the education of their choice. A true love of learning means having a world of options that each student can study what and where they want and not be limited by a school, an education system, or community. So as AISC inspires to empower students in owning their education, I think it would be great to expand this opportunity through partnerships where students can seek out educational experiences with institutions in the countries that represent their ambitions. The other opportunity I would expand on is community engagement. I think as most families were in spring break, a lot of them connected with AISC families that were here at one time or another. I know we talked about a family you met in London that was close with my family as well. And one thing that really sank in is despite the fact that this family had been gone for several years, that connection with the Chennai community remained. It remained a priority for them. And these bonds, they last and they serve as reminders of how diverse, dynamic, and engaged the community is at this school. I think these relationships should be nurtured not just for sincere personal reasons, but to ensure that our children continue to appreciate the value of their education here. So I think expanding on the foundation of the Alumni Association or the alumni organization that Kirsten has built would be a great opportunity. And the third is to ensure stability through governance. I know I keep talking about governance over and over again, but this is an area where we continue to develop to ensure that the school stays in the stable state that it is.
Thanks, Julie. Michael?
I believe that good governance takes into consideration the community as a whole. It's not individual specific. Policy making needs to involve all the relevant stakeholders so that the shared ownership within our school involving the students, parents, and the facility. I know firsthand on the governance committee that they're very focused on working towards a feedback loop, improving communications amongst the community as a whole. And I would say that we need to further this work to ensure that all informed actions are taken based on the overall community inputs and needs. Today, our world is an overstimulated world with so many digital distractions. Our students, the average student, is under a lot more stress than we ever were as students. And so we really need to look at the overall well-being of the community. I think that the use of technology in schools, it's still relatively new. But we're at a point now where we're starting to see the research coming available on the long-term impact of technology. And so we need to do some strategic evaluation to see, have we got it right, or do we need to make some modifications? Fortunately, we've got a fantastic team at AISC that is, at the forefront of this area. So we need to ensure that they remain supported and give the necessary resources to do this work. Facilities, we would all agree that we've got an amazing facility here at AISC, and the opportunity I see here is to pay it forward to the community that we reside in. We can establish AISC as a learning hub for the other educational institutes within Chennai. For example, providing support to schools that may be implementing an IB program, providing them some resource or some guidance there. Ultimately, we can forge a long-term student and teacher collaborations with those other schools to facilitate some ongoing learning and professional development.
Thank you, Michael. So that's the 3 questions, and we're going to move now to candidate summaries. And this time we're going to start with Suresh.
I'm personally very passionate about educational technology because that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. I've been to a number of educational technology conferences, and I've been amazed by some of the brilliant work that's being done by teachers and schools around the world. And I absolutely wish some of those ideas were brought into AISC. And Gayatri was talking to me about serving in other capacities, if not in the board, as a part of the committee or part of the technology committee and things like that, and contribute what I've learned over the years. So I'd be absolutely delighted to do that. I'd love to see that kind of AISC being in the forefront of that kind of change and being a leader in this area. Secondly, I feel that I'm uniquely qualified to serve on the board because I have this diverse perspective from living in the States for a long time and running an ed tech company and managing a construction company in India, and being connected to the industrial houses in and around Chennai. I feel the school is facing some unique challenges at this point of time, and I would be able to help with that in a unique way that that may not be easily replicatable. Now, overall, I feel that AISC is doing an amazing job, and like I said, I applaud the leadership and the governing body for what you have done so far, and I only wish that the school is taken to greater heights from here, and love to contribute to make that happen.
Thank you, Suresh. Julie?
Thank you. Being part of the community and being part of the board has been a passion for me and my family for several years, and having the opportunity to continue to serve is definitely something that I'm inspired and enthusiastic to do. you know, having been here for so long in Chennai, we've seen evolution in the schools, we've seen evolution in the community, we've seen people come and go and have built global relationships and partnerships and friendships from it. And I have a thorough understanding of the school and where we've been and where we're going. And I think that provides a unique qualification. I think also summarizing my professional skills, having focused on strategy and on operations and on governance, I bring a very qualified skill set to the board to be able to collaborate with the various different committees to ensure that we're all working together and we're all working in the same direction towards the mission, and then it's all pulled together under the finance and governance umbrellas. So I think that's the second area where I've been very passionate about and where we've seen a lot of growth. And then finally, I would just you know, having seen you know, a number of different committees with the board over the last few years, it has provided me you know, a good spectrum of the opportunities and challenges and work that we have in front of us. And I'd ask for the community's support to continue the focus. So thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Michael?
We have to keep running to stay in the same place. This quote from Alice in Wonderland reminds me about what it takes to be at the forefront of education today. When I volunteered last October to participate in the board of directors, I did so because I felt that my consistent corporate achievement, my experience in operating in multiple cultures, and my community involvement would suit me well to service on this board. As a father with children in the elementary, middle, and high school, I have an appreciation for the challenges that families may face as they go through the educational system. I also see our school from a multitude of different vantage points, which is why I'm a cheerleader for maintaining all the wonderful things about AIC, and there are a lot of them. And I'm also a champion for seizing new opportunities that would provide even greater outcomes for all of our children. I look forward to serving this community as a caretaker for the school and of its mission.
Thanks, Michael. We're going to finish with Nam Hee.
A few months ago, the previous board member, Ms. Lee, suddenly called me. How about becoming the board members? So at that time, I didn't think about. So after calling, I thought again and again, what is the board member? What is the role of the board member? And then I decided to apply it. Why? I had some story because when I stayed in the Greece, at that time, the American school community and then parents, they supported me and my family a lot. So that's why big support from the school, our family and my sons, so settled down and we enjoyed a lot. Now is 2 years later, my second son will graduate. After, I want to, now it's my turn. I want to support, I want to help other parents, other students, because I should return the benefit from the previous my school. So if I have some chance in that case, I will do my best to school and student. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nam Hee. So that concludes the formal part of the morning. You now get an opportunity to grab